Hey, warrior. Yeah, the one who's tired of feeling stuck. You've been trying to fix your life. Maybe you've read books, watched motivational videos, set goals, tried being more positive, but nothing sticks for long. Now think about this for a second. One man loses his job and completely collapses. He blames the economy, curses his boss, and spirals into a pit of self-pity. Another man loses his job, and instead of falling apart, he wakes up earlier, sharpens his skills, and reinvents his life. Same event, completely different reactions. Why? The answer is simple, but brutal. It's not life that breaks us. It's our mindset that lets it. And that's exactly why Stoicism has become more relevant now than ever before. Because in a noisy, chaotic world filled with excuses, distractions, and emotional weakness, Stoicism reminds us that you are the one in control. Not your feelings, not society, not your past. See, fixing your life doesn't start with your job, your relationships, or your money. It starts with your mind. Fix your mind and everything else will follow. But let me warn you, the rules we're going to cover are not soft, gentle advice. These are brutal, no-nonsense truths that will punch your ego in the face. They're not for the easily offended. They're for the people who are sick of being stuck, sick of living on autopilot, sick of breaking down every time something doesn't go their way. If that's you, you're exactly where you need to be. In this video, I'll walk you through 10 Stoic rules that will help you take back control of your emotions, your habits, your goals, and your entire life. Every rule is inspired by the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, and the core of ancient Stoic philosophy, but we'll break them down in simple modern language that anyone can understand and apply. No philosophy degree needed. We'll go deep into emotional strength, mental discipline, self-awareness, and the painful process of becoming who you were meant to be. And with each rule, I'll give you a real Stoic quote or principle, not just as decoration, but as a tool for you to reflect on and live by. So, before we begin with rule number 1, here's what I want from you. If you're ready to finally stop blaming the world and start rebuilding yourself, if you're ready to conquer your emotions instead of being controlled by them, if you're ready to fix your mind and fix your life, then drop this affirmation in the comments right now. I will know. Longer live at the mercy of my emotions. Also, don't forget to like this video, comment below, share it with someone who needs this, and subscribe to the channel for more Stoic-based life strategies. And most importantly, don't skip any part of this video. Every rule is connected. Every one of them will change the way you think. Let's begin. Music. Rule 1. Stop negotiating with your weakness. You must build up your life action by action and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible. And no one can keep you from this. Marcus Aurelius. The biggest mistake people make when trying to fix their lives is this. They try to negotiate with their weakness. They tell themselves, just one more hour of sleep won't hurt. I'll start my diet tomorrow. I'll stop texting them after this one last time. What they don't realize is, every time you negotiate with weakness, weakness wins. And when weakness wins often enough, it becomes who you are. Think about this. The strongest version of you, the disciplined, focused, confident version, is not buried under some mystery, feared simply being suffocated by years of comfort, excuses, and emotional indulgence. You can't become that version of yourself if you keep giving in every time life gets hard. You can't fix your life if you keep folding every time you feel bored, lonely, or uncomfortable. The Stoics understood this perfectly. They didn't seek comfort. They trained for adversity, because they knew that every moment of suffering, every hardship, every temptation resisted was a victory for the soul. Now ask yourself, when your alarm goes off, do you rise like a warrior, or do you let your emotions hit snooze? When you feel anxiety, do you sit with it and grow stronger, or do you distract yourself with social media or food? When you're tempted to go back to bad habits, do you hold the line, or do you say just one more time? Here's the brutal truth. You will never fix your life until you kill the version of yourself that keeps making excuses. There is no peace without discipline. There is no greatness without sacrifice. And there is no strong mind without facing down your own weakness and saying, not today. Every time you delay your potential, you're not just wasting time, you're betraying your future. So the next time you're tempted to stay in bed, text that toxic person, waste another day. You don't reason with it. You don't argue with it. You don't explain it away. You get up, you shut it down. You choose strength over comfort, because that's how warriors are built, action by action. And I don't care how far behind you feel, or how much you've failed in the past. The moment you stop negotiating with weakness, the healing begins. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. No more deals with weakness. I choose strength. Rule 2. Control your reactions or be controlled by them. It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Epictetus. Picture this. Two people hear the same insult. One laughs it off like it's nothing. The other carries it in their chest like a knife for weeks. Same words, same moment, entirely different realities. That's because it's not the insult that hurts. It's your reaction to it. It's not the traffic jam, the breakup, the rude coworker, the failure. It's how you interpret and respond to those events that determine your emotional state. Most people live as emotional slaves. Their peace is hijacked by tiny moments. They hand over control of their mood to strangers, to comments online, to things they cannot change. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. Let that sink in. Every time you snap at someone, every time you overthink, every time you spiral because of something external, you're giving away your power. And what's even worse, you're becoming predictable. People who can't control their reactions can be manipulated with ease. They're like puppets. Pull the right string and they'll explode, cry, panic, or freeze. Do you want to live like that? Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. So how do you take control? Step 1, slow down your reactions. The moment you feel triggered, pause, take a breath, step back from the situation mentally. Ask yourself, what part of this do I actually control? If the answer is nothing external, then the only battlefield is internal. Step 2, separate facts from emotions. She said something rude. That's a fact. I'm not good enough. That's a story you told yourself. Train yourself to see things clearly without emotional fog. This takes practice, but every moment you do it, you're strengthening your mind. Step 3. Reclaim your peace. Peace doesn't mean becoming passive. It means becoming unshakable. It means learning to respond with calm power, not panic. It means learning that your response is always your responsibility, no matter how unfair life seems. People who can master their reactions become dangerous in the best way. Why? Because they can't be baited. They don't fall apart under pressure. They choose their moves carefully and live on their own terms. And make no mistake, this is a skill you can build. You don't need to be born calm. You train it like a muscle. And every time you don't react emotionally, every time you hold your center, you prove to yourself that you are not your feelings. You are the master, not the storm. So the next time someone pushes your buttons, remember this: their words are powerless unless you give them power. Their behavior is not a reflection of you, but how you respond always is. You want to fix your life, then stop reacting to every little thing like your piece is up for auction. Choose your response like a warrior preparing for battle. Deliberate, sharp, grounded, because the man or woman who owns their reactions owns their life. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My peace is mine. I will not hand it over. Rule 3, do the hard things, especially when you don't feel like it. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Epictetus. Let's be brutally honest. Most people know exactly what they need to do to change their life. Wake up earlier, stop wasting time, cut toxic people, exercise, study, say no more. Speak up, be consistent. They know it, but they don't do it. Why? Because it's hard. Before we dive deep into it, please hit the like button and subscribe my channel as an act of appreciation, because it's uncomfortable, because their feelings scream louder than their discipline, and that's the problem. See, the ancient Stoics never waited to feel ready. In fact, they trained their minds to expect resistance. They saw discomfort as a forge for character. They understood that if your actions are always tied to your emotions, you'll never build a meaningful life. And if we're being honest, you're not always going to feel like doing what's right. You're not always going to feel like showing up. You're not always going to feel motivated. That's reality. But here's the key difference between a weak person and a strong one. The weak wait for motivation. The strong rely on discipline. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is a decision. And every single time you choose to do the hard thing, especially when you don't feel like it, you're building mental armor. You're telling your mind, I don't need to feel perfect to act with power. The gym when you're tired, that's a victory. The tough conversation you want to avoid, that's growth. The decision to walk away from comfort and face your fears, that's real strength. Seneca said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Think about how many battles you've already lost in your head before you ever tried. How many goals you've delayed, not because they were impossible, but because they were uncomfortable. If you want to fix your life, you've got to stop fearing discomfort. Start chasing it. Lean into it. Because the things you avoid today become the regrets you carry tomorrow. Here's the truth. You'll never feel ready to change your life. There will always be a reason to wait. But the cost of waiting is years you'll never get back. So what should you do? Wake up and do the work anyway. Even if your mind resists, even if it feels unfair, even if no one claps for you, you don't need applause, you don't need perfect conditions. You just need to do the damn work. And when your body wants to quit, when your emotions start whining, when your thoughts start doubting, that's when you push harder. Because those moments are where strength is born. Remember this, you can choose the pain of discipline now or the pain of regret later. But either way, you will suffer. Only one of those paths builds the life you truly want. So stop looking for shortcuts. Stop expecting it to be easy. Real change is ugly. Real change is lonely. Real change is painful. But it's also worth it. Every hard thing you do now becomes a softer future later. Every resistance you face now becomes a story of pride tomorrow. Rule 4. Cut the noise and master your focus. If you are everywhere, you are nowhere. Seneca, let's face it, we live in a world that's constantly screaming at us. Notifications, messages, headlines, gossip, advertisements, warnings, opinions, distractions. You're being pulled in 100 directions, and then you wonder why you feel anxious, lost, and disconnected. But here's the truth. You cannot fix your life if your mind is scattered. One of the most brutal but freeing Stoic rules is this. You must protect your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. You see, the Stoics weren't just about silence and so stop waiting, stop apologizing, stop explaining. You don't need their approval, you don't need their validation. You just need to decide you're done playing small. Rule 6. Silence is a power. Speak less, master more. Let silence be your general rule, or say only what is necessary and in few words. Epictetus. We live in a world where everyone wants to be heard, but very few want to listen. Where everyone wants to look wise, but very few take the time to become wise. And the result, endless noise, empty opinions, shallow lives. But the Stoics understood something deeper. Silence isn't weakness, it's mastery. Why? Because the person who speaks less listens more, learns faster, responds instead of reacts, holds power instead of leaking energy. You want to fix your mind, then you must learn to control your tongue. Not everything requires a reaction. Not everyone deserves an explanation. Not every thought needs to be said out loud. In fact, the more you speak, the more you reveal your fears, your insecurity, your plans, your weaknesses. But when you're silent, people don't know how to read you, and that's power. Marcus Aurelius said, the more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. And one of the first things to master is your mouth. Because here's the trap. When you're constantly talking, justifying, proving, defending, you're reacting to the world instead of creating your own. Let others seek attention. Let others chase validation. You stay silent. You stay focused. You move in strength. Now, silence doesn't mean passivity. It means calculated presence. It means saying less but meaning more. It means letting your actions speak 10 times louder than your words ever could. Silence also protects you. It protects your energy from pointless arguments. It protects your dignity from emotional outbursts. It protects your strategy from being exposed to the wrong people. So how do you master this? Step 1, be okay with not responding immediately. Not every message needs an instant reply. Not every insult deserves a comeback. Let time do the talking. Step 2, get comfortable with being misunderstood. Silence teaches you to be okay with people not getting you. You don't need to clear your name, you need to build your name. Step 3, focus on becoming, not performing. While others try to look powerful, you focus on becoming powerful. While they talk about their goals, you work in the dark. The Stoic path is not loud, it's not flashy, it's disciplined, focused, intentional, and it begins with silence. So stop oversharing. Stop giving away your peace. Stop leaking your energy through your words. Let your silence terrify the insecure. Let your silence speak for your strength. Let your silence become your superpower. Drop this affirmation in the comments if you're ready to master your tongue. I will let silence speak for my strength. Rule 7. Own your mistakes without shame or excuses. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Seneca. Everyone messes up. Everyone falls short. Everyone has regrets. The difference between a broken life and a rebuilt one comes down to this. Do you face your mistakes like a warrior, or do you run from them like a coward? Most people do the latter. They blame others, they make excuses. They cover up the truth with distraction, denial, or fake positivity. But Stoicism teaches us to face reality brutally and completely, because the only way to become unbreakable is to first be honest with yourself. Did you waste years in a toxic relationship? Own it. Did you betray your own standards? Own it. Did you lie, cheat, procrastinate, or self-sabotage? Own it. Not with guilt, not with shame, but with courage. You see, shame keeps you stuck, but ownership sets you free. Owning your mistakes doesn't mean drowning in regret. It means standing up and saying, yes, I failed, but now I rise and I will never go back. Seneca reminds us that every trial, every scar is a necessary part of becoming who we were meant to be. Stop hiding your wounds. They are your proof that you've lived, struggled, learned. Stop trying to look perfect. Perfection is the enemy of growth. Instead, develop radical self-honesty, the kind that makes you flinch, but also fuels your transformation. Here's the hard truth. You can't fix your life if you keep rewriting the past to make yourself feel better. So stand in the fire of your own truth. Take full responsibility, not just for your past, but for who you choose to become now. No more stories, no more lies, no more avoiding the mirror. Own it all and then rise from it. Drop this in the comments if you're ready to own your truth. I own my past and I rise with purpose. Rule 8. Discomfort is your teacher. Stop running from it. Don't hope that events will turn out the way you want. Welcome events in whichever way they happen. This is the path to peace, Epictetus. Let me tell you something that'll change your life if you let it. Discomfort is not the enemy. It's the lesson. It's the test. It's the breakthrough. But what do most people do the moment they feel discomfort? They run, they distract, they numb themselves, it gets quiet. They turn on noise, they feel sad. They reach for food, people, or entertainment. They feel uncertain. They panic, overthink, and break down. But here's the truth. Growth lives on. The other side of discomfort. The Stoics didn't seek easy lives. They sought strength because they knew strength was the only thing that could carry you through a world full of chaos. You can't grow your muscles without tearing them in training. You can't build your mind without going through hardship. And you'll never find peace if you keep avoiding the emotions that are screaming to be heard. So stop trying to escape every uncomfortable moment. Instead, sit with it. Ask, what is this teaching me? What strength is this pain trying to build? Because every heartbreak, failure, delay, or rejection, it's not punishment, it's preparation. The Stoic mindset isn't about feeling good, it's about becoming good, even when things feel bad. Marcus Aurelius faced plague, war, betrayal, and loss, and still he wrote, "If it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. That's not cold, that's clarity. Discomfort is not here to destroy you, it's here to reshape you, but only if you stop running. Only if you meet it head-on with courage and humility. So the next time it hurts, remind yourself this moment is not meant to be comfortable. It's meant to make me stronger. And guess what? When you stop fearing discomfort, you become unstoppable. Drop this in the comments if you're done running from growth. Discomfort is my teacher. I no longer run. Music. Rule 9. Discipline is greater than motivation. Build it daily. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. Let me ask you a hard question. Are you truly free, or are you just emotionally driven? Because here's what most people don't understand. Freedom doesn't come from doing what you want. Freedom comes from doing what you must, especially when you don't want to. That's called discipline. And it's what separates the weak from the strong, the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the builders. Motivation is emotional. It's a mood. It's a high. And like all highs, it fades. But discipline is a system. Discipline shows up even when you don't feel like it. Discipline gets you out of bed when motivation whispers, sleep in. Discipline makes you show up even on bad days. The Stoics mastered this truth. They trained their minds to ignore emotions when emotions were useless. They built routines, values, and virtues, not based on how they felt, but based on who they wanted to become. Marcus Aurelius still showed up as emperor while grieving, tired, and under pressure. He didn't wait for perfect feelings. He just did the work. Why? Because duty is greater than feelings. That's a Stoic rule. That's how lives get transformed. If you want to fix yourself, stop chasing motivation hacks. Start developing daily discipline. Wake up at the same time. Move your body. Control your diet. Learn daily. Focus, meditate, reflect. It's boring, it's repetitive, it's not sexy, but it works. And it builds character. You won't feel like it every day, and that's okay. Show up anyway, because discipline is what carries you when motivation disappears. And when you master discipline, you won't need to rely on inspiration ever again, because you've become the kind of person who moves forward regardless. That's power. That's self-respect. That's Stoicism. Rule 10. Stop living in your head. Live in alignment with your actions. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. It's easy to think. It's easy to imagine. It's easy to dream of being better, stronger, wiser. But none of that changes your life. What changes your life? Action. And not just random activity, but aligned, purposeful action. The Stoics believed that philosophy wasn't something to just think about. It was something to live. A Stoic doesn't just speak about self-control. They practice it in private. A Stoic doesn't just post about peace and discipline. They live it when no one's watching. That's alignment. But most people live two lives. The one in their mind, full of goals, clarity, and wisdom, and the one in reality, full of contradiction, excuses, and confusion. They say they want peace, but they gossip and complain. They say they want growth, but they procrastinate and scroll. They say they want to become stoic, but they live like emotional slaves. Here's the brutal truth. It doesn't matter what you know, it matters what you do. All the quotes, all the motivation, all the wisdom means nothing. If your daily actions contradict it, you want to fix your life. Then stop performing, stop pretending, stop talking, and start embodying. You know what needs to be done now. Do it. If you say you're stoic, then train your emotions daily. If you say you value time, then stop wasting it. If you say you're focused, then prove it with your choices. Don't chase perfection, chase alignment. Because when your values and actions match, you feel whole. That's where peace lives, that's where self-respect grows. Marcus Aurelius didn't sit around pondering the ideal man. He said, be one. Not later, not when it's convenient. Now, so from this moment on, every time you feel confused, ask yourself, what would the strongest version of me do in this moment? And do that. Let your life speak louder than your mouth. Let your consistency replace your need for applause. Let your quiet alignment make you untouchable. Because when your actions match your values, you become dangerous, not to others, but to your own weakness. Drop this in the comments if you're ready to live in alignment. I will live as the person I claim to be. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Epictetus. Now, you've heard the 10 brutal Stoic rules to fix your life. Not the kind of rules you hear in self-help books or fluffy motivational talks, but the kind that break illusions and build character. If you apply these rules, really apply them, you'll stop living like a victim of your emotions and environment. You'll stop being at the mercy of every distraction, every feeling, every setback. You'll start living like the Stoics did. Not emotionless, but emotionally unshakable. Not perfect, but aligned. Not always loud, but unmistakably powerful. And remember, this path isn't easy, it's not meant to be. But it's the only path that leads to a life of self-respect, clarity, and true inner freedom. So now, it's your move. Don't let this video be just another wave of motivation that fades by tomorrow. Choose one rule, apply it today. Then tomorrow, do it again and again. Fix your mind. Fix your life. The Stoics left us the blueprint. Now it's up to you to build the structure. If this video lit a fire in you, drop this final affirmation in the comments. I fix my mind, I fix my life. And if you want more wisdom like this video, comment below. Share it with someone who's ready for real growth and subscribe to the channel for more ancient truth turned into modern strength. Let's grow together.